Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Our text for today is the Gospel just read from St. Mark chapter 7. Jesus healing the man who was deaf and mute. Would that we all had friends like these. The man is deaf, mute. In that culture, in that society, he would have been nearly helpless. And indeed, many would have looked at him and considered him cursed by God. Even today, when we have someone that has a physical disability of some sort or another, we work really hard to make sure that they are included. There's always that niggling sense that something isn't quite right. Even wondering if maybe it's actually something they did. But this man has friends. We don't even know who they are. They're never named. All we get is they. They brought him to Jesus. Kind of remarkable if you think about it. What did they think Jesus was going to do for this man? There weren't a lot of medicines you could give for being deaf or mute. By all medicine of the time, this man was, well, there was nothing to be done for him. He could barely even beg. He couldn't speak. But they bring him to Jesus, not knowing what Jesus can do, only that whoever's going to do it, Jesus is the one that can actually make something happen to this man. So they bring him to Jesus, and they beg Jesus to lay his hand on them. I think that's an interesting picture. Again, not knowing what is going to happen, but only knowing, being in the presence of our Lord, things are going to happen. Something can change in that instance, in that time and place. Jesus, however, is not satisfied to make a show of this man. You can imagine that this man was the brunt of more than a few jokes, that he was the subject of ridicule or of that sort of condescending pity that we can all feel. Thank God that at least I don't have that. So Jesus takes him aside privately. It's about healing this man. It's not about a show. He takes him aside privately, and then he does what I told our catechumens was kind of an ew moment. He shows the man that he knows what the problem is. It's his ears, his tongue. He touches them. Kind of invades, in our world, invades his privacy. And yet the man knows, apparently, that this is okay. That this is all right. Jesus looks to heaven and sighs and then says, nearly unpronounceable word for us, Ephphatha. Say that past 5 times. Aramaic, it means open up or be opened, as we get. And he speaks these words, and Jesus' words, of course, are not just words. Because when Jesus speaks, it happens. God speaks and the world is created. Jesus says, be open. And he's open. His ears are open to hear God's word. His tongue is loose to speak God's praises. In fact, much like some 2-year-olds, once the man's tongue is loosed, he can't stop talking. The more Jesus tells him to be quiet, the more the man has to say what happened. He has done all things well. He has even made the dumb to speak and the deaf to hear. This is what God does. God makes things happen out of nothing. What to you and me seems like a hopeless situation, before God is just a word away. What to you and me seems like an impossible, unreconcilable, broken, messed up problem, to God is an Ephphatha. Be open. We could even say a few more words that God likes to say. Be healed. Be forgiven. Or like Jesus says to Lazarus, come out. Or to the young girl, get up. Jesus isn't just making commands or issuing orders here. He is creating what he says. When you and I speak words, sometimes something happens. Sometimes not so much. But when God speaks, it always comes to pass. That's why we get this amazing promise that God is the one who can still an anxious heart. That God is the one who keeps his promises. That God is the one who comes to be present with his people, poor sinners like you and me. That when all hope is lost, when all things are done, when things are as messed up as they're ever going to get, and boy, do things get messed up in this world, when all of these things come to pass, God comes and says, Ephphatha, be open. He does all things well. He says to you this day, be free. Be forgiven. Be alive. Not just alive, going through the motions, but be truly alive, as only God can make you alive. Body, soul, and spirit. So this day, rejoice in the God who does all things well, and who does all things for you, and who says to you now and forevermore,